Got a pretty easy one because it's just my opinion, so that's good. Hello, Aaron. I've noticed that you have a keen interest in nuclear engineering physics as well. I've heard you mention it on quite a few of your videos. Is it because you were considering it as a career, or you're just fascinated about the subject? Back in high school, it was nuclear engineering or economics. I really liked economics, and I was told like a fucking idiot that follow your heart and the money will follow. And you think logical economists, this is back in the 90s, early 90s, keep in mind. So it's still coming off of like Wall Street and finance was a legitimate field and a profession. I should economics, they make good money. No, you need a doctorate. And then, as you guys know, my path through economics, one, didn't really help me gain stable employment, some employment, but not stable employment. And also I've come to find out like the entire profession is bullshit. There's some key basic elements and things of economics you can learn. And I wouldn't even recommend reading The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith because it's so tedious and long, but some basic economics, what was it, Larry Hazlitt, or Economics in One Lesson, Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell, Milton Friedman's book. I mean, these simple economic, it's not hard, but then like all liberal arts and social sciences, the professors, the professionals have taken it to an inapplicable level of minutia and detail. You know, like how women's studies, which is completely worthless on its own. Well, now we have intersectionality in gender studies, and there's all this. It's like, no, you've outlived whatever modicum of intelligent, practical philosophy was in that study. We've already discovered it, and now you're just a bunch of adult children trying to avoid real work. That's in academia, and so that's where it is. So I went with economics because I liked it just marginally more than I did physics, and I was fascinated with nuclear physics. And so it was more of an intellectual interest. Now, back then I wasn't thinking. In nuclear engineering, probably also would have had the same tough go. I think you probably actually do need a doctorate or at least a master's to make it in that field, because there's just not that many people building. We're not building nuclear weapons, and we're not. We're trying to move from nuclear power to solar and renewables. Let's just say, for argument's sake, you do decide to pursue it. How would you go about it? All right, assuming I wanted to do it, would you go back to school, or would you study it on your own, and what steps would you take? Interesting question. I asked because I kind of have an interest in the subject myself. I would like your advice. Thanks. Let me know your price for video response. All right, so let's go look up what the nuclear engineer. Let's see what the Bureau of Labor Statistics has for us. All right, so $116,000 a year median pay, typical entry-level education, bachelor's degree. And here, yeah, the job outlook for the next 10 years is a 13% decline. I honestly, dude, I would not do it. What I would do is electrical engineering, because that's more stable. And for $116,000, I mean, there's other jobs that pay more than that mid-career. Your computer science degrees, engineering, good hard trades, specialized trades, and nuclear physics. That's hard. So again, unless you had an intellectual interest in it. But if I had to go to college, let's say I had to go to college, I'm going to choose a degree. Instead of nuclear engineering, I go one of the other legit engineers, probably electrical, because then you could still work on nuclears. It's like all these environmental science majors or environmental engineering. It's like, no, it's mechanical engineers and electrical engineers who actually make those windmills and solar panels and everything, and some chemical engineers as well. But, and if you want to still be on the atomic structure, like you find, elements and compounds interesting, maybe chemical engineering. But for practicality, I do electrical engineering. And then if you want to get a master's degree, then I'd maybe save the master's degree for nuclear engineering or nuclear physics. But then what I would do just on the side is I just study nuclear physics anyway. Now, choose your hobbies. I'm in South Dakota now. Do I want to study nuclear physics, or do I want to go for a 12-mile hike on a trail I've never seen before with mountains and canyons and waterfalls? Oh, I'm going to go. So it really is, I guess, because once you get out of school, there's going to be so many more fun things to do hobby-wise than what you might have an intellectual interest in. Then unless you had a huge intellectual interest in nuclear engineering or computer programming or something like that. And some people do. Um, I would just make your life a lot easier and get your undergrad in something very legitimate and imminently employable, probably electrical engineering. And then part time, if you wanted to, get a master's degree. So I don't know, you could teach, you had an academic interest in it. Maybe you go work at a think tank, or, like there's people with that kind of desire. Or you just really want to, maybe you like school, you like going to classes, and you like having your brain challenged. I mean, the interest I have is like, I think the secret to the universe is there. I think that's, we got to keep pushing it. but you'd have to have a strong intellectual interest and already have a stable career in something before you go and work in nuclear engineering. Probably even just teaching it is what I would say. And it's more going to be research, I'd imagine. But otherwise, yeah, I'd rather go hike. I'd rather ride a motorcycle. I'd rather hunt agates. I'd rather shoot my guns. I'd rather chase tail. Well, no. No, I probably prefer nuclear engineering. Yeah, I mean, spend time with my nieces, but I'll always have that. What could scientist Cappy have unlocked if he put his full IQ and intensity and effort into nuclear engineering? I'm sure the Iranians and some other rogue nations wouldn't mind hiring you if you became an expert, but that's what I would do. I would not consult the Iranians. I would just do it academically. Yeah, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. All right. Everybody, 1 if it's bad reception, 0 if it's good. Mexi Mike, what if we take shinny checks and don't complain, but ride that shit till it runs out with a smile, and then laugh as boomers as they inflate their own income, fixed income to 0 purchasing power in their golden years? That was going to happen anyway. It's awesome. I'm enjoying everybody. Hey, do you guys have crypto? I'm not saying buy crypto now. It's a little pricey, but did you buy crypto 5-10 years ago? Did you buy silver? Did you dollar cost average into the 200 ounces of silver like I told you guys to decades ago? Well, not decades, but a decade ago at least. No. Mexi Mike, yes, nothing like terrible okay boomer life advice that resulted in boomers 2.0 millennials. Boy, you nailed it, Mike. You nailed it. That's exactly what the millennials are. They hate the boomers, but they don't realize they're like the boomers squared. We can thank them for shit offspring because we followed in their footsteps, except we will avoid McMansions. Gmail user, $5. Hi, Cappy. Total stock market, completely passively managed index fund or actively managed mutual fund? Well, which stock? Is it a global stock market? Listen to Turd Flinging Monkey, but I'm going to give you the same advice he does because this is what's been proven out. Even since I went to college, it was that, and now it's the same thing. The index historically has beat actively managed funds like at a rate of 8 to 10. And over the long term, I think it even gets up to 9 to 10. I mean, it's no guarantee the actively managed fund might beat the index, but you got to pay a management fee. You got to pay the people you got to pay, which lowers your rate of return. And there's a very good chance, though not guaranteed, that the index will beat the actively managed. I do index investing simply because I'm lazy. And I really don't care if I get the best rate of return. I just need a certain amount of return. I'm not wasting my time researching. I won't even go to Morningstar anymore and look at their 5-star rated funds. No, index fund, done. Go, bye, good night. Oh, darn, I didn't make an extra 5% that year. Ian, 5 pounds, civil, mechanical, chemical, very useful, electrical, questionable. Really? Chemical engineering is incredibly math dense, but well paid. Seems most mechanical engineers want to work in F1 racing. Are you from Europe? Yeah, I see you're in Britain though. Yeah, that guy's got the F1. Here, all of our young stupid people want to become sports management, bro. Okay, I guess my connection's good. All right, on to the next one. And then I think that might be it for the day. We'll see you guys later, Toodles.